I'll pretend there's music.
You think that's a Pretenders opening?
What?
Hey, happy Monday. Good morning, Matt, Miss Trade, Matt Davio, Bob Heffernan, HFR when I was on the floor. Currently
When there was a floor.
Sporting the Rub Me Brandon Shrimp Mojo hat, available at redbubble.com. You just go to redbubble.com and search Rub Me Brandon, and it pops right up. Matt, what a weekend of football.
Oh.
As bad as some of the games were last week, this weekend's games were as good as they get.
And I was as bad as I can. Well, not almost as bad as I can get, but I was 1-3. So,
we talked about it last week.
But again, I'm the fade when it comes to pro sports.
Well, man, everybody's the fade.
I'm just saying. I admit it. I
saw. What did I see? WinBets is putting their app up for sale. They want $500 million for it. I reached out to Davey Portnoy and said, "You got a bid?" Like all of these sports betting apps are, and these names are getting pummeled because you don't make any money gambling. Come on, how hard is it to figure this out? We've been saying it forever. Like, they gave you generational wealth, you didn't take it. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
We can't help them.
Can't help.
New lows though for most things today, including pen gaming.
Matt, it's getting a little overextended, but let's talk about the clown world just for a second, because there was two things. You shared this. Michigan State University allows nearly 15,000 basketball fans at sold-out games, but shuts down in-person learning. Maybe they could just have the classes in the stadium, like everybody goes. Like, what section are you? Oh, accounting.
Yeah, the econ is in section 23.
Exactly.
Poli-sci is in 1. You got biology takes the whole.
The virus.
Biology is down in the corner because there's only a few people in it. Yeah.
Matt, it gets better. And let me share. The New York Post, one of my favorite rags, and I got the big don't for him. Am I in time here, or am I like a child mask? Is my voice off?
I don't know. I'm not. You look fine to me.
All right. Anyway, Gonzaga suspends John Stockton season tickets for disregarding mask mandate. They specifically said, since you're like a celebrity here and you're not wearing the mask, that's really bad for us and the way it looks. So we're going to suspend your tickets. What I really didn't like about the article is because he's reading what we're reading. German newspapers highlighting how many professional athletes have died from the jab.
Mm-hmm.
And the New York, it says it right here, there is no evidence COVID vaccines are causing deaths. No evidence?
None.
Come
Zero.
on, New York Post. You're better than that. There's a little bit of evidence, I think.
I mean, if you watched any of the speeches over the weekend, you had one, the one orthopedic doctor who he's done being a doctor. He can't even, there's some evidence, just a little bit, that there's the parents who have come on with their kids on their first and second jabs who have died suddenly as a 17-year-old hockey player in Canada. I don't know. That's evidence, but not enough, apparently. Not enough evidence for the New York Post.
I don't know, Matt. Well, the evidence for sure is in the Moderna chart. I mean, there's evidence right there. Why don't we bring it up? And as you do, Matt, let me just point out the fact that this graphic really got my eye as that exit door. Man, people are trying to squeeze through that son of a bitch.
As they always do, musical chairs, when it happens like this, everybody is getting out at the wrong time at the same time. And that's where we are. Bob, it's not pretty out there. Are you seeing my chart yet?
I do not see your chart yet. You're not sharing.
That exit sign should say Moderna. It shouldn't say exit. It should say Moderna, mRNA, because wow, what are we seeing? We've traded down to 138, which is, hey, Bob, guess what? This is a daily chart. We're back into value when it comes to Moderna. So if you're looking for a great spot to cover your short, I still don't want to be long, but if you're looking for a great spot to cover your short, this is a great spot. It really is. I mean, we're way oversold every metric. We've gone from 500 down to 137. The market seems to be finding a bottom here, I think. So all those things pointing to, get rid of your short. It's probably time. Let it bounce some more. You'll be able to put it back on at 220 or so, and it's 140 right now. So it'll go up 50% from here, which is only 70, $80. But remember where it came from, 500. So don't get too excited and too bullish. This thing will go lower, I do believe. Ultimately, you'll see sub 100 levels, just a matter of time. Because again, nobody's taking shots regardless of what they're telling John Stockton. The evidence is there. The shots are killing people.
Agreed. All right, Matt. We were talking about this on the way in, and there's a lot of people saying this is a great opportunity to buy this giant dip. And let's face it, it's a giant dip. Mm-hmm. But Goldman sees risk of Fed rate hike at every meeting, 12 rate hikes in a row.
Right.
2.5 trillion in balance sheet shrinkage. You got that. And I just want to bring a couple of these up because it's the backdrop for, okay, buy the dip. Bank of America now says, well, this happened, right? They too say a close below 14,000, all hell breaks loose in the NASDAQ. We were talking about it. I mean, yeah, buy the dip, but like, what is going to save this market long term if we have 12 rate increases? And the figures, the PMI today was ghastly. So we truly have stagflation happening. It's happening. It's not like it could be. It is happening.
It's live, not Memorex. Absolutely. And the other interesting thing, Bob, is we almost got to the shutdown line, 5% in the NASDAQ today. We were right there. It was like 4.9 when we were trading 13,706 was the low in the NASDAQ. We didn't quite get there in the SPOOs, which led me to believe. But look at this area right here, this little diving board, 13,666. That's got to hold. That's got to hold on a close. If we close below that, we're going to the next level, which is 12,912. Be aware of these levels. We will trade there. Not if, just when.
And obviously that's not going to be a day's worth of action.
No. Again,
and the rips are going to be vicious, and
well, we're already seeing one now. I mean, we're up 180 points from the low already, and it's taken all of 22 minutes. So that's a vicious rip already, and it's just beginning. Now people are going, oh, now I'll short. Be careful. Because
why don't you fractal in just a little bit, and let's talk about some of those better areas for patience. If you want,
the day balance, just the day balance today is now back to 130 or so. So anything up to there, you're still bearish, but we're way stretched from that. So it would make sense. And then you start looking at the week, Bob. The point of control for the week is still 15.2. We're 14. We're 10% below that. The value area is 14.5, 73. That's still below today's lows or today's high that we saw, which was, Sunday night high. So again, the one thing I'll be looking for an extended rally is, can we take out yesterday's high? I've been talking about this. I talked about it in our daily video that we provide at Market Vitals. If you want to sign up for that, you can go to marketvitals.io. We do a daily rundown of the NASDAQ. So that's that. And I've been talking about that until you see yesterday's highs overtaken. It's really hard to get behind much of any rally right now. So that's kind of where we are, Bob. It's kind of through the roof. And I don't, very overextended, can go higher, can go lower. You got to be a trader in this market. You do not marry a position right now, and you have to be responsive and reactive to what the prices are giving us. Listen, we've been going down now since the European market. So this is a 10-hour sell-off. This is not new. We're getting late to the party. If you've missed it, and you're crying in your milk, I wish I sold it at 16.7. Well, guess what? It's 13.7 today. You missed 3,000 points already. Don't be chasing now. It's a little late to the game is all I will warn you. We were
Yeah,
telling you
and
all
we talked
we were
about
talking
this
about
last
it all
week.
last fall, November. That was the time. Sell into the end of the year. We're going to go higher. Likely won't see a high again. And, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. If we need to, replay it for you, we can. But we basically, have given up the ghost. And, now we're oversold on every metric and every time frame. Doesn't mean we can't go lower. So you just have to be really understand the levels and the broader fractal out and in right now for you to play ball. And this is not, I would say this is a great time if you're an amateur and you haven't traded through one of these, probably not the time for you to start trading.
Bullshit.
Well,
Up your leverage, up your size,
okay.
and go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
No, we used to say, Rod Carew, baby, choke up and hit singles, especially in this environment because the pitches are fast and furious.
And, get hit by a pitch, steal second, pass ball third, and sack fly drives you in, and it's 1-0. Okay.
Small ball. Ozzie Guillaume.
That's right.
Matt, plenty going on worldwide. And I thought it was interesting. A couple of threads that I read talking about the saber rattling and all the posturing going on. Yet oil really isn't on the moon. And the other one that people were pointing out to me this morning, especially with Russia and Ukraine, is wheat. Wheat in the Crimea annexation, when that saber rattling and the actual takeover, wheat really had a reaction to it, and the wheat market subdued so far. And so is it just saber rattling? It's not showing up in that price discovery?
Again, this really seems like another false flag. The whole, basically Russia's saying, stop saying that we're doing this stuff to the UK and the US, and everybody else is avoiding NATO sending planes. So it's very confusing. I don't really know if anything's going to happen. I tend to believe that they're trying to, whoever they is and whoever the warmongers are, they're trying to get the war going. But I don't know if this is going to be the moment, or, it could be another 6 months, it could be another 6 years. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the one making these decisions.
Wheat's up 13 cents, 13. Why don't you bring it up? ZWH 2022. And let's just look at it, because again, we always look for price discovery. Where is the price discovery happening with whatever is happening in the world, whatever narrative is being driven? There's always some price to talk about.
Yeah, it's had a nice recovery today, as you said. It was down here at 781, traded as high as 797. So that's a monster move. But you start fractaling out a little bit, and it's been up here. So it's not. They tried to wash it down this morning, and now they're coming back up. But really, no new prices that we've seen here today, Bob. So
again, and so the theory is that if there really was going to be some launchings, that this would be through the roof, and it's not showing up quite yet. I mean, it's for sure.
Well, and
it's
even
caught a bid.
Even some of the, even Tucker Carlson, the only mainstream person talking about Ukraine, was basically, or, talking about it in this sense. He was like, listen, I'm talking to our guys on the streets there, and they're like, everything's normal over here in Ukraine. Everybody's out to lunch with their families. They're not worried about bombs getting lobbed in there. So that just tells me that it's the US and the UK pulling out their embassies, which seems like severe, saber rattling that, again, is going to backfire on the resident as he continues. Did you get that picture I sent you of him over the weekend, of him contemplating? You should show, it looked like he was looking to make some big decisions. I sent it into the.
Listen, that look is signified. Did I shit my pants or not? We all know that.
But I mean, it's a fantastic view that somebody, one of the photogs caught over the weekend. You got to put it out there.
Where did you share it? Because you
I shared it where I always share all the pictures that I provide you for the production crew.
Listen,
it's in there.
There is a lot. By the way, Western Michigan #4, Michigan #3 in hockey. You shared that. I don't know where it is. I don't recall seeing it, Joe. I did like this one. the Gotham City world that we live in. Oh my goodness! All right, Matt. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look in at the oil chart. Again, wheat has caught a bid, but it for sure isn't contemplating from a price discovery point of view. War is imminent. And what about crude? Pull the crude chart up and let's talk crude for a fuck you. Let's talk crude for just a little bit.
Yeah, crude was selling off this morning with everything else. So let me get that up here in a minute. But yeah, again, all assets are one here. Crude was selling off. Gold actually was hanging in there. It was slightly up, but no new prices there. So gold, again, I think you can look for a sell-off there coming again soon to a theater near you. Here we go on the crude. Again, a recent high that we just saw of 87s. And pulled back from that to the, basically the bottom of that value area for the last couple of weeks, which was around 82.50. We got down to 82. Looks to be holding, which is an area it should hold, by the profile. So it's bounced. It's already up to 83.20, only down $2 as the rest of the markets have bounced. NASDAQ now up 200 points from the bottom in less than 35 minutes. So there you go. There's a bounce. There's a dead cat bounce, dead cat lunch bounce coming into play for you. But again, this market, down 500 still here at this level on the NASDAQ. So there could be a lot more upside. And to me, we may have put in the bottom for a while. We got IBM earnings today, Microsoft tomorrow. We got Apple Thursday, big earnings week. Okay. Today is light. Today is the light day, but then it just kind of ramps up into Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, a lot of big earnings. This sell-off could be a reason, to celebrate the great numbers that they're going to have in earnings and the poor forward guidance. Again,
we know that's coming.
I mean, I'm just guessing that's what's going to come out, but that's probably what's going to come out this week.
All right, Matt. My brain is not functioning. Listen,
Chipotle off here. I'm just going to go through a couple names that I think are getting interesting. Chipotle went right to the bottom of this area, right at 1300, basically.
Pull it up so we can see it.
Yeah, and again, way oversold. If you're looking for an on sale, this is a $700 sale from 1952 down to 1300. We traded down to 1297, 1296 actually here. So huge discount on Chipotle. And this is again, looking at a 610, everything to me says, as long as that 1266 level, which was the old low back in March, holds, simple little, that's not much substance there, but basically as long as this 1300 level holds, could see a bounce there coming into play. So watch for that. I also wanted to point out Amazon and Google just because those are coming up in earnings and they've been crushed. But let's take a peek at some of these charts just so you can see them, Bob. Amazon down 110 here, was down. And again, remember we talked about this range that we've been playing in. It broke down on Friday, by the way, and I wanted to touch base on this a little bit. We broke through this, and what does that mean? Let me look at the daily so you can kind of see this. This is just starting, right? This is kind of to your point. We could rally, 500 points from here, and this would still be bearish. So keep this in mind. These ranges now are going to be so crazy. You're going to get everybody going, I should have bought the dip when it's 3,200, right? Then they'll say that. Well, it's hard to catch a knife in here. I would not be buying this, but I would be looking to sell rallies as it comes back into, that top end of that profile, 3,200.
And again, Matt, I couldn't agree more that the everything that you hear is that buy the dip because what? Because everything's going to be fine and we're going to go back to this trend that we've been on for basically 15 years and nothing's wrong. I mean, that's fine. You can have that view, but it sure seems to me that the dynamic is different going forward. And it sure seems to me, well, I know for sure that the technical aspect of this is different.
Right.
Right. And it's going to take a lot of work to recapture momentum levels on the daily, 2-day, 3-day, weekly chart. And we're just starting to expose weakness on the monthly, the quarterly, these very long time frames. So
Well, and again, Google went down to 2,500, a little bit below 2,492, which is, again, that's not quite 20% from the high, 3,000 ish. But look
And
at
if
all
you
this.
look at that chart,
But look at these structure. The structure is just weak.
exactly,
It's a horrible structure.
if markets are efficient, then they distribute price in a bell curve.
Yes.
What about that as a bell curve? Zero. There are so many holes there that need to be filled and will be filled over time. Price is efficient. I mean, that's the whole mantra of a profile trader.
Facebook making a new low, 290, 289 was the low.
And again, how about that chart? There's a bell curve right there.
Yeah, this one's a little smoother for sure. A little bit smooth. But, as we know, Facebook's been struggling for the last 6-8 months price wise anyway. So it's not really, it peaked here in September, right in the beginning. So that is off about 28%, from 384 down to 290. That's, close to 30%. So that is bloody. But 265 would be a better buy area versus 280, 294. Doesn't mean you can't bounce here, but I'm just saying that would be, I'd rather sell 265 puts as we get close to that and, take a stab on that bouncing off of a real meaty area down in that neck of the woods. Let's also talk about crypto, because we talked about 32,000 when it comes to Bitcoin, and I'm going to pop that up before we get here to Ethereum. But 32,000 and boom, we hit it 32,874. So again, profile don't lie. It never does. As you said, distribution and value areas work their way through over time. And again, this is where we thought we'd go, 28 to 32, right to the, so that's right in that range. I'm not saying we don't go to 28, but we're now into that ballpark. And as you know, 10% in the SPOOs or in the Bitcoin it happened over the weekend twice. So 10% is nothing.
Man, I don't have my guitar right next to me, but today's a perfect opportunity to sing about the crypto maximalists. I saw
Cameron and his bro are pumping it like, oh, this is, if you missed it at 69, you're gonna love it here at 30. Mwah, mwah.
Well, you better love it there, and you better love it at 20, and you better love it at 11.
What are you in the brokerage business? Oh yeah, you own Gemini. I forgot. Give me a break.
I saw a long-term profile, Matt, of cash Bitcoin since its inception, and there is a big profile area down at 11,000 that I was not aware of.
Yeah, big one.
Anyway, everything is possible. Anything is possible, especially in the realm of trading when there's this much cash in the system. And the Fed now has just a giant work cut out for itself. It seemingly, for sure, Matt, we know this. The Fed's number one mandate, right, is inflation. Number one. Jobs is second. Making sure their governors trade profitably is third. I think. I said it last week, dude. If they're not short this market, they're doing it wrong.
Hey, by the way, Apple, I believe is Thursday. Let's take a look at this. Value on a daily chart, or this is a 610 chart, doesn't even come into play until 124, and we got down to 154.70 today. Just pointing it out. I'm not, and again, way oversold, but rally maybe after the earnings and then come back down into this level. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. But we could also just whoosh. Again, to me, you're catching knives here if you're buying stocks for more than a trade. And it's a dangerous knife to catch into earnings, into war possibly. This is not the time to be going all in by the effing dip. It's not the time. It's way different.
I agree.
We're just pointing out that it's way different than the dips we have seen. And for the reasons that we pointed out, the Fed's not going to come to your rescue right now like they did in March of 20 when the world was ending. They're not.
Well, and they can't. They can't. Vis-a-vis the mandate. Like that's their mandate. Like you can't.
That trade was a completely different setup. Nobody even saw it coming because that's why it went. So now everybody's predicting it. So therefore it can't be. The masses are, as always, Bob. What are they?
They're the asses, man.
I mean, it's just the way it works.
All right.
And if you're reading it, if you're reading it in the newspaper and calling me and telling me that's the reason you want to buy Moderna today at 141 because Wall Street Journal or USA Today said it's on sale, go for it.
Well, here's a beautiful thing though. What the profile does for you is gives you a relative assessment of how on sale it is.
It tells me where it tells me where it tells me where the hands are. It doesn't matter strong, where the most interest is. That's what it tells me. It's all it tells me. I'm just
saying that if you knew something that traded, let's just pick some numbers. It traded from let's go to a bag of weed on the corner back in the day, right? A quarter ounce was $125, right? And it went to 300. Well, when it comes back to, 275, it's on sale. 250, it's on sale, but it surely isn't the street corner that you're used to. So it's all relative. I mean, and that's the beautiful thing about value range trading. What fractal are you looking at? How on sale is it really when you look at a much longer term time frame?
More importantly, Bob, we got to get back to the real news here. I mean, this lab monkey accident that we had over the weekend, the 700 macaque, what do you call these? I don't know how to say it. Macaques. These are the macaque monkeys on the loose. There's a few of them still running around in I don't know what part of Western
Pennsylvania
somewhere. This is the big news.
It's Yankins. Is it? No, he's Virginia. Who's somebody's fault. All right, Matt. Hey, listen, Lee gives you a great shout out because your call on Moderna has been spot on, fantastic, and a great lesson for anybody out there that wants to know how to trade value range. It's been impressive, your call on Moderna, and if you don't see how fractals replicate and charts, it doesn't matter what name is on the chart. It just doesn't matter. I mean, that chart is Moderna or Apple. Once it rolls over, it rolls over. Once it gets on the right side, I mean, let's go to our favorite because I saw it was down again today, and I didn't think that was possible. Virgin Galactic, Matt. Let's take a look at right-sided Virgin Galactic as we leave the show, just to show you what potentiality means in the marketplace. Potentiality.
798 down. Another.
Wait a second. Say that out loud again.
798.
$7.98, but everybody was going to Mars.
And it was 61 two times, 3 times the lady. And now back to 798, which is down a cool 5.7%. Dude, never going to Mars. And it's still worth $2 billion. Still worth $2 billion.
It's crazy. Never ever going to Mars. Eastern Nevada. We're going to call it Mars.
An update on our Ford short. Hope you all enjoyed that ride because 25 back to 19. That's all I got to say. Bye-bye.
Meanwhile, Kathy Wood is on suicide watch yet? No.
Well, she got down to the 5th. I think she got down to 65 today was the low. She's feeling good about her portfolio. Everything's red.
Strong to quite strong.
She's putting her own strong buy out on the ARC fund. The good news is, the RSI is not as low on this push, but this probably means we're going to get a bounce here soon. Is about all it means. And if I could see 90 again, I'd sell to Kathy all day. But we're at 68, so it's a long way from.
All right, Lee, we talked about it on the way in, but why don't we bring it up? DraftKings or Penn or one of those gaming stocks. Again, we've been talking about this for a while. It is a loser.
Remember our target forever was the 30s. We finally, got there, 37.98 today. And this is right where we are. I mean, we're right there in the top of the meat of the profile on our way to 32, ultimately down to 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is another one where it's just starting to get into a bell curve-ish looking profile.
I mean, we've got a year and a half of trapped traders again.
And Matt, let me just point this out. It's a bell curve because all those prices get exposed over time.
Yep, they do.
Anyway, All right, Matt, thank you so much. What a great day, great trading day, great opportunity. Please be disciplined, trade disciplined, mind the mo, know what the value ranges are. Please don't change your risk based on a fractal when it's going against you. I think that's the number one mistake in young traders is like, well, I have this risk, but then I'm going to fractal out when it's going against me and fractal in when I got a profit. We used to call that, Matt.
It's called style drift, no matter what you want to call it, but it's style, time drift, style drift. It's all the same.
Right on.
And we're back above 14,000 on the NASDAQ, just like that, 300 points. Let's go.
Right into the daily point of control, 78 in the SPOOs right now as we speak also. Yeah, a lot. I don't see why we couldn't. And the SPOOs go right back to the high of this value range, 43.36 from today's action. That's just today's action. Great trading ranges, by the way.
Yeah,
please join us at marketvitals.io.
We're looking at almost 800 points, which was the widest for the year, by the way, on the NASDAQ. It might be the widest that we see for a while. That's my guess.
Right on.
It's about as big as you're going to get here, Bob. It's been
all right, Matt. Please share the broadcast, retweet it, plagiarize it, do whatever you want with it. And by the way, I think Jordan Peterson on today with Joe Rogan, another couple of conspiracy theorists.
Yes, he's been on a lot, but he's always good to watch. Always good to watch.
Anyway, something I'm keeping my eye on. Have a great day, Matt.
Thanks, Bob. You too.
Thank you.